In this episode for home sellers, we talk about the 3 times you have to justify your list price and your sales price. It's not just once, you got to do it 3 different times. This is episode 42 of the Inside Real Estate Show with me, Darin Persinger of Persinger Group Real Estate, your host here for the Inside Real Estate Show. Welcome to another episode where we give you the insight behind the information. We give you the analysis and the advice so that you can make smart home buying, home selling, and real estate investing decisions. In this episode, we're going to be talking about home values and why you have to justify the price 3 different times throughout the process. A lot of home sellers think, I just pick the price that I hope it sells for, that I can maximize the amount of money that I get in the home sale process so I can walk away with the most money. But it's not that simple. So we're going to get into that a little bit later in the main topic. But first, let's do the number of the day.
What's the number? Stop, stop. What's the number? Stop, stop. What is the number? The number of the day.
27. 27 is our number of the day. It's actually the days on market for home selling in Lake Stevens over the last 90 days. So we took a 90-day window snapshot of the Lake Stevens market, that macro market, and it is 27 days. Now keep in mind that if you live in the Lake Stevens area and you're thinking about selling your home and you go, oh, 27 days, that sounds pretty good. In the real estate industry, we count days on market as the time that the listing goes from active, which means for sale, to pending, which means that a seller and a buyer have an agreed upon contract of price, terms, and conditions. So days on market is not actually when the home sells. It's when the home goes under contract. It could take an extra 30 to 45 days. That's being somewhat realistic actually, from your days on market time until the home actually closes, where you're moved out, you give the keys over to the home buyer, and you actually get your check from the escrow company at closing. Could be an extra 30 to 45 days of that days on market. So take 27, add 45 days on it just to be conservative and realistic, and that's how long it's actually going to take you to sell. So if you're thinking about moving out, moving somewhere else, paying another mortgage, paying for your rent, and then quickly trying to sell your home, you could still be making your mortgage payment for another 2-3 months very easily. Because keep in mind, days on market means average. So some homes are selling 10 days, some homes it's taking 50 days to sell to get that average days on market. So 27 is the average days on market in the Lake Stevens market right now. All right, let's quickly do a little bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
There's a couple things I want to share with you that are timely right now of what's going on. First is my business partner, my wife, Catherine. The wonderful, brilliant, beautiful Catherine hosts an event for, she calls it Networking Mamas, and it takes place at the Everett Library right now. So if you're a mama that is self-employed, you're in sales, you're a business owner, you have something to do with that, or you'd like to get into that world somehow, the Networking Mamas event is a great event for you because you get to bring your kiddos along with you. So reach out to Catherine at persingergroup.com, or if you're watching, listening to this episode somewhere, I most likely will have a link below or to the side, wherever it is where you're watching and listening. Search for that link and it'll take you right to the event to learn more about that. The second thing I want to share with you for housekeeping right now is I'm a member of a citizen advisory committee for Lake Stevens because they're working on a new downtown area, a new plan for downtown Lake Stevens. And we've had 2 or 3 meetings now, I guess, 2 main meetings and a subcommittee meeting that I belong to. And I just wanted to, if you live in Lake Stevens, if you're looking to move to Lake Stevens, this is really interesting stuff that's going on, because we get to be a part of planning out what that new downtown Lake Stevens area is going to look like, what it's going to feel like. And the consultants that the city has hired to lead us on this journey are really transparent so far of what I can see. So I'm really pleased with how the process is right now, with how transparent they're being. And I want to give you a website to go check out so that you get to see the transparency and see what's going on. And it's lakestevensdowntown.com. So if you live in Lake Stevens, you should know what's happening down there. You should be a part of understanding what that process looks like, because this is your community, and it could have impact on your home values and the future enjoyment of the city for you. So head over to lakestevensdowntown.com. Let's get into the main topic. All right, this main topic, I want to talk about the 3 times that you have to justify a home value. I think a lot of home sellers from experience think I just pick the price and I try to negotiate that to its closest price, and then I walk away from it. Actually, a lot of home sellers have the myth of I start really high so that I leave room to negotiate. Keep in mind that right now, in a lot of macro markets, a lot of micro markets, which means citywide or neighborhood wise or price point wise, homes are selling for 100% or even over 100% of the asking price. So if you're priced even 2% too high, if you're thinking, I need to leave 5% or 10% room for negotiation, even if you're priced 2% too high, you could be missing out on the entire market, because home buyers are thinking, I have to come in right at that price. And if it's too high, I can't justify that, even if it's 2% too high, because I have to pay 100% in this market right now. So keep that in mind. Pricing is really tricky. But let me give you a little background of how we look at pricing at Persinger Group, and then get into those 3 main areas of where you have to justify your home price. So first is the marketing of your property. What we look at Persinger Group is marketing is our job. The promotion, getting traffic to see it online, to come look at it in person, that is our job. That is our job at Persinger Group, is to do the marketing, the promotion, and get the traffic, get your property seen. On the other side of that spectrum is the condition of the property. That's your job as the homeowner, as the home seller. There's nothing that we can do for the condition. We could even come in and give you tips and help you stage it. But at each showing, during each of those showings, the condition has to look great. Buyers have to be able to envision themselves in your property. Otherwise, it's not going to be the one. They're going to check it off the list of, nope, that wasn't it. So the condition, the showability of the property is your job. The price, what I look at is that is a collaboration. So everyone has their job, everyone has their lane. Our lane is marketing, your lane is condition. But then when it comes to the price, that is a collaboration between us and the homeowner / home seller. The reason why is there's no actual specific value of a home. It just doesn't exist. You know, if you talk to an appraiser, you're going to get one price. If you look at Zillow, you're going to get one price. If you talk to us, you're going to get one price. You talk to another agent, you're going to get another price. If you talk to your insurance adjuster, you're going to get another price. If you talk to the city appraiser, you're going to get another price. The price is all over the place. A home value is actually a range, and that range is dependent upon how good the marketing is and the condition and showability of it. If there's great marketing, but the condition is poor, you're going to drive down the price into the lower range of that market value. If your marketing is poor and you're not getting the word out about it, and you have the nicest property in the neighborhood, but no one knows about it, again, the price is going to be driven down. So understand that first there's a value range, not a specific price. Now, as we go into that, let's talk about this specific price and why there's 3 times you need to justify that. The first time is obviously with the list price, the asking price, whatever terminology we want to call it, but that's the price that you agree upon with the real estate agent in the listing agreement, and then you put it online, and that's the price that everyone sees. That first original price, and that's what everyone thinks of. But the second price is that you have to justify is after the home is under contract, the buyer is going to come through and do an inspection of it. Now, if the buyer isn't sure, if they don't feel comfortable with that first price of what they paid, our experience shows us that buyers try to beat up sellers here at the second level of the price after the inspection. They start asking for a whole bunch of things to be fixed. They start asking for discounts. And especially in this type of market where they're just trying to get the home off the market because there's so much competition, they want to get it wrapped up. And now they're going to negotiate with you. So they're going to give you the price that you want now and then negotiate later. So be careful, be aware of that, because you have to justify that price again. So even if a buyer feels like it's inflated, but I'm willing to pay for it because I'll get the discount later, they might give you the price and then start trying to negotiate you down during and after the inspection. And then the third place that you need to justify the price is with the appraiser. Now, if you have a cash buyer, you don't have to worry about this. But majority of the buyers are going to be bringing a lender into this process, and the appraiser is going to come out and look at it, and you have to justify the price to them. Because if you don't, and we're seeing this happen a little bit, is buyers either need to bring more money to the closing table, which if they don't have it, then what do? Or you're going to have to drop your price down in order to meet what the appraiser said the value is worth. So it's really important that even if you get that price right, of what you think is right the first time around, and a buyer even agrees to pay that, that doesn't mean that it sticks that entire time. You still have to get through the process of the inspection and the appraiser to be able to get that original price. So just be aware of that. 3 times you have to justify your home selling price. And as always, I remind you, home is what you make it, so make it someplace you love.